Hello, everybody. I know there's a short time delay, so this is going to be fun. But welcome to Misty Mountain Legends, our Fowl and Friends campaign. This has been our super long-running campaign, and officially the longest D&D campaign I have ever run. So, fun little tidbit there. I am your dungeon master. I am Luke. I play everybody. Welcome, chat. Good to see you all here. And be joyful. I will do a recap of everything just for you after I introduce all of the players. So, first up of our wonderful players, we have Luke.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Luke, and I play Tyler Trueshot. He's a human ranger, and as Luke Kimbrough just said, he plays everyone. So he plays me, I play Tyler Trueshot, and that's how this works. And I believe we were gonna have a little what's the icebreaker question thing for what for I think it was what would our characters be if our characters were just regular humans in the real world. And I think Tyler Trueshot, I've decided would be a mall cop, because he's like, and he'd be like very much like takes himself really seriously, thinks that like he's bringing justice to the world, and would just take himself super seriously, and that would be Tyler Trueshot, and yeah, that's
Tyler
that's what
Trueshot.
we do.
Paul Blart. One and the same.
Mall cop, and yeah, you'd be like, you hear about that time that I took down the whole like crusty kid gang who were like
the crusty kid gang?
Yeah, they kept shoplifting from Hot Topic, and I took them down, every single one of them.
It makes sense that it was Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's Tyler Trueshot in the real world.
Oh, that's fantastic. So next we have Deanna.
I'm still recovering. I'm Deanna. I play our chaotic gremlin of a wood elf rogue, Is. And if Is was like living in modern times in the real world, I think we decided that she would be like a travel foodie vlogger, but on the side she trades in Dogecoin, because that just makes complete sense to me.
Oh, fantastic. Next we have my wonderful wife, Anna.
I'm Anna. I play Lyra, who is a tiefling bard. And if Lyra was living in the real world, she would be working in a bookstore. Not very exciting, but very exciting at the same time.
Follow-up question. Is it like a Barnes & Nobles or is it a mom and pop like hole in the wall?
100% hole in the wall.
Okay, good.
She has a major like, have you ever seen what is it called? You've Got Mail? Yeah, she's got like that kind of like level of hatred for for Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, that kind of like big chain bookstores. Yeah.
Marvelous. Next we have Roxanne.
Hello, I play Storm. I guess we're not saying what classes we are today. Storm's in real life job would be a Ren Fair reenactor, specifically like the axe throwing booth and like the archery like little show that they do.
Nice. Makes a lot of sense. And last and certainly not least, AJ.
Hi, I'm AJ. I will be relinquishing my character of AJ to Luke, so I can now play Dolf Fitzgerald.
That was me taking AJ on.
Yeah. Your halfling cleric warlock. Chill, bro. Obviously, gotta be chill. If Dolf was put into the real world, I mean, I was going more wholesome than what these chuckleheads were putting in the chat before. So I'll tell you both. From what the party thinks is that Dolf is gonna work at a dispensary / cookie dough shop.
Maybe a grow shop.
And,
I think that's very wholesome for the
and
record.
you know, well, you didn't hear the other option.
I'm excited for the other option.
I think Dolf would be just a guidance counselor.
Aww.
Just making
Aw.
sure those kids get what they need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything they need.
And
That
My-
feels right.
My love for
And-
Dolph
and
just
fucking the
grew
system.
infinitely.
Yeah, it
Oh,
feels right.
that makes a lot of sense.
My
Hey, before
heart-
I say this on stream, can I make a reference to another D&D stream?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Have you seen Dimension 20?
No. Shh.
Do you know Jawbone? Because you could be both. You could have formerly been you could have just been a dealer instead of a dispensary.
Am I
And
giving
now you-
students weed? Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. And
Did
no
you
one
say-
will tell.
And more
Before
importantly,
you say this on stream, are we not streaming right now? What's
no,
going
we
on?
aren't. I didn't want to like.
Yeah, no,
say
surprise, we're
something
not.
About
Surprise!
another
No
like,
narcs.
production.
Okay, got it.
'Cause,
Don't
like,
tell-
I don't understand copyright. So I was like, can I
Gotcha.
say, the whole Opalgate thing on TikTok? I didn't
Uh,
want to bridge that
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I'm fine hyping up other D&D streams. Like, they're fantastic. So,
Speaking of no, we're not
Oh,
doing
no.
this. We're not doing this right now.
before we get too distracted, allow me to recap everything that has happened as shortly as I
wow.
can.
Oh no.
That would be great.
So, our heroes met being mercenaries to transport a noble couple across the Great Tonbar Tundra to get to another country. They were attacked, and one of the noble couple was taken away, and so they chased down their one who kidnapped them, fell into an ice cavern beneath the ground, and through a series of events discovered that these creatures that kidnapped one of the noble couples is worshipping this deity known as Lord Quackers, who is a duck and is the god of the waterfowl. And so that is where they've met Lord Quackers and persuaded him to come with them, and they would serve him and bring him bread and jam as much as he needed. And so we cut forward a bit, and they are already in a town, the city of Nosterhaver, where they have a temple, and they previously had been trying to figure out how they were going to pay that month's rent. And so they went out looking for odd jobs and discovered multiple various things around the city had been stolen, things of great value. They went and through various lookings around and investigating and mystery solving, they discovered that the culprits were to the north. They were at the base of the Brunish Mountains, where they set off, though they got the information from a rune crafter who was very injured and said the mountains, and that was it. So they set forth, found the items, also adopted a goblin child along the way, came back, lost the person who did it, and they cannot convince anybody in the city that it is actually the person who... Let me rephrase. They cannot convince anyone that the person who stole everything is actually guilty, because the person who stole everything is a well-respected woman, the daughter of the sole advisor to the Duke of Nosterhaver, Sovelia. So, we pick up after Dolf had a bit of an interaction with the chicken god, Allfather Cure, where he both was tempted to the opposite side and told to abandon Lord Quackers in favor of Allfather Cure, where he then spat in the face of this chicken god and promptly lost 2 hit points from his maximum hit points permanently. Tyler was in touch with a noble who has convinced him to be part of the chariot races for money and glory, and maybe Storm will be helping. We don't know yet. We're going to find out. So that's where we pick up. That was a very quick run through of everything that's happened. There was a lot of in-betweens, but that's the gist. And so we pick up with apologies. Yes, sorry. There's a chair moving.
I don't know if anybody else heard that,
sorry.
but
I don't know.
Anna?
Yeah.
my
What did you
parents are
do?
here, and so I think someone just moved a chair, and it
Yeah.
made the whole
A
house
likely
vibrate.
the old moving a chair. Problem.
Yeah.
Move the chair again, Anna. See if you can make the sound again.
I didn't move the chair.
I
Anyway,
know you did.
So, last we left off, all of our heroes had returned to their temple, where Lord Quackers, no longer being a duck, was supporting Jobriath, the runecrafter who was heavily injured and restored to health by Lord Quackers, though was thought to be unconscious for 2 weeks just due to the healing process. But he is up and standing. He's being assisted by Lord Quackers, and that is where we are.
How much
Now, did we-
earlier?
sorry, go ahead.
How much earlier is he awake than like what we were expecting?
A little less than, it's like about 5 days were left in the 2-week period, I
Okay.
think. Around there.
Now did we cover the fact that Lord Quackers is a mix between
Hot.
he's just hot.
He's just hot. Yeah, here, hang on. Let me just pull up.
A mix between Geralt of Rivia, played by
And Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Jason Momoa, but
really
specifically
made sure to
Geralt
write
of
that
Rivia from
The Netflix.
Netflix.
series.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
not the
And
Any
really
new
made sure
viewers
to
need
write
to get
that.
hooked by the good-looking Lord Quackers.
Listen, I have played a lot of Witcher, okay?
Yeah, this is
There
this is
is a
what Lord
difference.
Quackers looks like. For everyone who's wondering, this is what Lord Quackers looks like in human form. So,
And I'm gonna put the handle for the artist in the chat.
yes, thank you. I was about to say I would have to go through Discord to find it again. But yes.
I got you.
Wonderful artwork. I was amazed at the beauty of it, and so I'm so thankful. Thank you for commissioning that. So, anyways, we return to our party. What are y'all doing?
So we just walked in, and Lord Quackers is with Jobriath, right?
Yes.
And
Oh,
we just
hey! You're awake.
Hey, sleepyhead.
Lord Quackers looks up at you all as you speak, as you walk in. He says, "Ah, my friends, it would appear that my growth in power that you all have generously provided through your excellent spreading of my glory and my great word, his healing has sped up, and so it is recovered by a great deal in a much shorter amount of time than I initially anticipated."
Sweet.
He then turns to Jobriath and says, "Now, these are the marvelous individuals who I was mentioning that you are the indebted to, I would say, and they are the ones that brought you here and brought you to safety."
Yeah, so not to be rude, because I know that you just woke up from a coma, but what the hell did you mean? Like, what was going on? What was at the mountains? Like,
As Lyra says that, I'm gonna reach and dig through one of the bags we got from shopping and pull out like a chocolate bar to hand him to like, here you go. Here's some pep. Answer our questions.
He holds out his hand, takes it, says, "Thank you. I apologize. Give me one moment." And he just kind of eats it. And he kind of looks at you with kind of sad and tired eyes. A bit very kind, but tired and a bit sad. His old elf face clearly a bit pale and still very much in recovery mode, but looking considerably better than he did when you brought him back here some days ago. He says, "Oh, that's very good. Thank you. I haven't eaten much since I've been unconscious, but I certainly feel a strange magic in my recovery."
It helps.
Yes. Now, what exactly is your question? I remember briefly saying something about the mountains, and that I think that was all I was able to get out before I lost consciousness again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm confused too. I don't remember.
That's
what's going
exactly
on.
all you said. As you were falling unconscious, you said
The
mountains, and then you took a long nap.
Yeah, so we kind of assumed that in referencing the mountains, you were talking about the items that have been stolen. Now, to catch you up to speed, we have collected said items and returned them. But I don't think that is what you were actually referencing, because the person that we found that had stolen the items did not seem to be the violent type that would have the power or even the desire to hurt you in the way that you have been hurt. So I think there might have been some like miscommunication there when you like passed out on us, that like we assumed you meant something but you really meant something else, and I'm really worried about what you actually meant because you were in a bad way.
Yeah, so like what about
Also-
the mountains were you concerned about?
Also, hi, I'm Dolf.
He
Oh.
reaches down and shakes your hand. Dolph says, Jobriath. A lot of questions. I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to backtrack. You said you recovered all of the stolen items?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
there was three. There was the sword. There
The
was
talking sword.
The talking sword. There was
Tapestry.
the tapestry,
And
and there
the-
was
the-
the,
like,
weird,
navigation
weird
thing
fishing
with the
navigation
water.
thing.
Yeah.
Antikythera?
Yeah,
And-
Not one of us have
Yeah.
ever remembered what that's called.
The word escapes
That
me.
one.
It's a navigation thing that I think it's like an Aunt Jemima thingy.
Antikythera.
Oh yes.
Yes, I believe I was unaware of the Antikythera at this time, but all of that, who stole of them? If you found them and brought them back, who?
Yeah, okay, see, that's irrelevant at the moment.
Um,
It's that issue has been
we'll,
like
we'll answer. He's been unconscious. Answer the poor guy's question.
Well,
It was
She's an advisor, the
Sylvia?
daughter.
Silveria.
Yeah, she's
Sovelia?
Sylvia.
yeah, she's the advisor to the Duke.
No, she's the
His
daughter,
daughter.
of the advisor
that
to
one.
the Duke. And when we found her, came willingly. She kind of escaped a bit because we were fighting some owlbears. It happens.
We did
but
fight owl bears.
We did.
Yeah,
But
she's gone now.
her whole thing was she was just bored and wanted to prove that she could do it. So like we don't think she was the one to attack you or would be powerful enough to do it.
I mean, it was kind of cool.
All right, first off, absolutely not Sovelia. That is ridiculous.
See,
She
that's
is-
what-
Yeah, see, that's
I-
what she did.
You must have run into an imposter or something. That is absolutely insane.
Hey, but we can cast Zone of Truth and I can tell you that exact same sentence again, or you can just believe us.
I
There is,
believe
like,
I
that
believe that
basically,
you believe that it is
Can I-
Sovelia.
We
Can I
both know
ex-
that's not how the spell works, buddy.
Can I
Actually,
attempt
it
to-
absolutely is.
exactly how it is.
Would I be able to like cast a like minor illusion, like an image of the person that we saw?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Be like, this one.
You certainly ran into a very convincing double, but I know there's too many spells and runes that I could acquire individuals to change their shape to appear as someone important, and who better to frame than someone who would be absolutely unworthy of this sort of
Wow.
Tell
Wow,
me.
okay,
What do you, Lyra? Before you pop off, Lyra.
Storm will give
into,
Lyra
I reach
chocolate.
into the bag and give it the chocolate to Lyra.
I'll back you up. I'll back you up.
With all due respect, what do you really even know about Sovelia?
Sylvia.
I have met her multiple times. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of work for the Duke, and she showed great interest in rune crafting and such, and I said she should become one, but her father was very much against it, and So
do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Right.
Her father was against her.
Her
being
father
able to
was
use
against it. She
powerful-
had very much intrigue into the magics. You don't think a you don't think a curious young mind
She's gonna rebel against her
wouldn't,
dad.
one,
Well-
rebel against their
Well,
father, and two, just sneak around, maybe see your work.
I can
and observe.
absolutely understand your concern there. I did, in fact, give her some information about runes behind her father's back. I'm a bit of a I have a bit of a rebellious streak myself, but
So
she absolutely does
maybe
not have the personality of someone who would steal very powerful or sacred items. So
But I
How
mean,
about
I-
you contact her?
Okay, wait. So I think what you're trying to say is that you don't doubt that she would have the capability, you doubt that she would have the motive.
Yes, she's very talented, but again, I believe we're going to disagree on this. Let me answer your next question.
Let him, because honestly, we could debate this all day. I really just want to know what happened to him, because then we can come back to this issue.
You're actually correct in that I was initially going towards the mountains to look, but that is not what I was talking about. I was not referring to the items at all. In fact, I was actually referring to how I was attacked. I never made it to the mountains. I was very close. I was just at the foothills, but I was attacked en route. What I remember is two large creatures that were covered in armor attacked me mid-flight. I believe they had riders. I think I can see it, but it was very fast and incredibly violent and fierce, and I could not tell you for sure. Whatever they attacked me with severely damaged me, as my attempts to heal myself during my escape were all but for naught. I only barely managed to escape using a teleportation rune before they would have certainly killed me.
Question.
Yes.
Well, this is more for Luke, not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. It's probably an actual spell that I could cast that would be able to do the same thing. I don't have the spell. So, if I were to cast Mind Sliver on to Jobriath, could that, since this thought is in the front of his mind, could I get a little insight of the memory? There is a spell that definitely does this, but I just don't have.
Also, Mind Sliver is it is damaging.
Yeah.
I would say probably not.
Okay.
Let's put this boy back in his coma.
Yeah.
Does anybody have?
I'm trying
what
to
thinking?
I'm trying to
Read
see.
thoughts. Is that what you're thinking of, AJ?
It's
Detect thoughts.
detect thoughts. Yeah.
Does anybody have detect thoughts?
No.
Tyler can barely detect his own thoughts.
True. Very true.
If we need to know what he fears the most, I can figure that out.
Could be useful information.
But then he would be frightened and run away. So
We can ask him if he's good at drawing. I have some paper and a writing implement.
What?
So
Oh, I'm
of
drawing.
pictures.
Oh, the things he's encountered.
Yeah.
so you didn't get a good look at them?
We're back in character.
No, I did not. It was very quick. They swooped in and were slashing at me. The whole time they were attacking me took, I would say, maybe 4 seconds before I managed to pop a rune and escape.
Could you remember? This is probably going to sound a bit insensitive. Can you remember the sensation of what was attacking you? Was it a beak? Was it swords? Was it
talons. There's a lot of flying creatures. We've gotta narrow that down.
Can I cast guidance to help him try to remember? To
Uh,
guide his memory to try to.
I don't.
It's just basically giving him a dice to
That's a
roll
good
on his
idea.
intelligence
I-
check to try to remember.
I'm gonna lean over to Iz and say, "Hey, start casting minor illusions of like gigantic flying monstrous beasts. See if one like makes him react more."
Okay. Tell you what, Dolph, what you can do is you can cast it, and I will allow him to roll a history check to see if he can recall it, like how clearly he can recall it.
So he just adds a number. He just adds a d4 to that number.
Yes, and now I have to pull him up. Hang on.
So, how is this connected to that person that was following us on our way back here?
We'll get there. Right now, we're trying to understand what Jobrith said the mountains about, while
Yeah.
dramatically falling into a coma.
I think that's my point, though. It's related because
But
remember
wasn't-
someone was watching him when he landed, and we had to hide.
That's right. I assumed that was the chicken god guy because we know that the bronze
But why was he looking
Thing
for the
works
room?
for the chicken god.
I think
Well-
they were probably just coming for one of us at first, and then they saw that happen. They were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, they may have
I think
been. It may not be connected to
coincidental.
him.
Yeah,
Kind of-
also, I will go ahead and remind y'all the Copper Dragonborn was followed y'all home from the circus. The
Not
individual that
from-
saw y'all when he came in and y'all found him bleeding and whatnot, you didn't get a look at their face.
Okay, so it was not the same. As far as we know, it was not the same.
Yes, just
Okay. Okay. That's. I think we got confused on
Okay.
that
Push
situation.
that thought away.
yeah. So,
Trying to make a connection that wasn't there.
all right. So,
But there was somebody watching.
yes, you specifically, I think, were the one who saw them.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
did not see who it was.
Correct. Their hood was pulled too low.
Cool.
Now, I'll do my best to recall what this creature looked like. There was two of them, I know that, and they were both covered in armor. I remember the glint of steel or some sort of shiny metal. About the size of a giant eagle, I would say, but certainly a giant eagle could not bear the weight of the metal that it was on these creatures that covered their entire bodies. They had strange wings that didn't act like normal wings. There was no flapping involved. There was no beating. It was just... It was very... I can't recall exactly. It's just that those are the key things that I can remember.
Out of character, did he fight airplanes?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Literally what I was thinking was
Out of character, I can tell you nothing.
Yeah, that's fair, Luke. I'm just to my fellow players.
Airplanes.
It sounds like he fought airplanes.
He fought
That's
it.
exactly what I was thinking.
Do they
Like, okay,
exist in
can
this
I?
world?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Is there any kind of like machines that would exist in this world that would
Are there
be like that?
airships in this world?
Yeah.
Are we commonly aware of
Absolutely not.
airplanes?
Definitely no.
Cool.
No.
I mean, if we
Definitely an
were,
airplane.
Jobrith probably wouldn't be describing them this way. Jobrith
Yeah.
would be like, I got hit by 2 airplanes.
So, is there not? Did you recognize any symbol on that armor or that's not coming clear enough?
That is not coming clear enough. No, I can't. I can barely remember the shape much.
Circle back to my rather insensitive question. Stabby slashy bitey?
Certainly, it felt like cuts, like deep slashes, as if something very quick was moving against my flesh.
Like a this motion.
Basically, as if someone had taken a blade and very quickly just cut through me.
So we're
Like
dealing with
talons
flying.
Remembering the wounds that we saw on him the day that he arrived, what did those wounds look like?
Yeah, did it look
Did they look like
animalistic?
sword slashes? Did they look like talons? Did it look
I would
like
roll with
he
that.
somehow got slashed by some sort of spell, but not an actual physical thing?
I remember you all rolled investigation checks for this.
I have
And-
notes.
Well, or medicine checks. Sorry, medicine checks. And what you got was that it looked like the most closely related thing you think it could be was swords or some sort of blade. But some of them were more jagged and some were clean. It looked like there was a mismatch of different kinds of slashes.
So
Okay.
maybe talons from the creature, swords from potential riders.
He also mentioned some sort of necromancy because he couldn't heal himself.
So
Whatever their physical attacks did, I was unable to heal, and I'm positive that there was not necessarily a spell cast unless it was cast on the weapons or whatever hit me. But
all right.
no.
It seems like we're gonna have to do some
Research.
reconnaissance, see if there's any rumors or anything about.
Is there a library in this town?
Oh, absolutely.
I would like to go to the library when we're finished up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Books.
Noted.
Boring.
It's okay. It's okay, Tyler. We can go and search and we could talk to people.
You guys could go to a couple taverns, meet up other
That sounds good.
adventurers.
Yeah,
ask
I
if
love
they
libraries.
have an idea.
Yeah, we
Um,
can go to taverns and see if we can see if there's any rumors of any flying metal beings.
Perhaps listen to the songs of the bards of past adventurers. Great.
Mhm.
I'm certainly going to go to the library. Lyra is where would you two?
I would go to the library. I never miss a chance to go to the library. But before we move on, I do want to okay, so you were headed towards the mountains to
Yes.
specifically look for these items that were missing, correct?
Yes.
And then you were just attacked out of nowhere.
Correct.
Do you have I'm kind of assuming based off of events that we've been through that attack was maybe not related to the items that you were seeking.
That they were
It could be
specifically
that.
they
Okay.
were specifically targeting you.
Theory. Jobrith, you were the one who did a lot of the rune crafting on the sword, correct?
Yes, I am responsible for
Okay,
a great
and that
majority of the rune
sword-
crafting in
and that
this city.
sword is going to the Duke's son, correct?
Correct.
Perhaps that is the link. They're attacking the rune crafter because of the link to the Duke's family. Do you have any enemies? Have you ever been attacked before? Have any knowledge of people who would try to harm you?
Well,
Perhaps a rival political figure who doesn't want the Duke and his son to have fabulous magical things.
I mean, I certainly I've lived a very long time, but I've certainly made a few enemies, but none that would do this. And the Duke is a fine man, and his son is agreeable enough.
No, not thinking that they did this to you because you're
Well,
in their employ,
yes,
but somebody
no.
who doesn't like them.
What I mean is that they don't really have too many opponents, as it were. I mean, they're really just in charge of this whole province. Their families don't really they don't have any quarrel with any of the other neighboring provinces or anything like that. But
Okay, so maybe
have-
it wasn't this project. Do you have anything that you've been contracted to work on that someone would want to stop you from doing?
no, absolutely not.
I want to roll insight on that.
All right, go ahead.
I also have a question.
Go right
And
ahead.
With Jobrius, feel free to comment on this because this is more of the intricacies of rune crafting. So I know rune crafting is very sacred and historical art for the rune crafters. But in killing the person who made the runes for specific items, does that interrupt any of the spells and any of the runes that were cast on those said items? Like, if you, is there a tie that if there was a project that was not completed yet or a project that was completed, if you were to die, does something happen to those objects?
The rune break, essentially.
Well, Anna, go ahead. What did you get, Lyra, for your insight?
7.
7. Yeah, no, I mean, he's telling the truth.
Okay, cool.
It's like you I know rune crafting is a whole secret thing. You don't have to say anything if you don't feel comfortable.
This is a very base level sort of thing. Most people who have any familiarity with rune crafting know, well, not necessarily know, but that the person who writes the runes is the one who owns them, I suppose is the best way to put it. In that, if I was to die, all the runes I've made would not be affected unless there was some sort of containment or something like that, in which case the only way, unless there was a separate means of releasing something that was contained by a rune, if, say, someone else's blood was involved.
Does your blood release the runes?
Yes. If someone was to kill me and take my hand, they could have power over all the runes that I've ever made.
No, they wouldn't take your hand or just your blood.
Easiest way would be my hand. The physical contact of the genetic, the properties of who I am would still be in my severed hand or limb or whatever. Blood would be fine, be easier to transport, but wouldn't last nearly as long as that would eventually you'd run out.
It's probably most likely that that's probably what they were after.
I think we have.
Was there any significant damage to his arms, or was it mainly like chest centered?
There was.
Did it look like they tried to hack his arms off?
It looked more like there was just the intent was to kill, based off the wounds. I mean, so there were some on the arms, but none that looked like repeated. It was just attacks all over.
I mean, it's better to have the whole body than it is to just have a hand.
Before I ask Jobriath in game, do we remember what scared them off? Like, who brought Jobriath to?
He teleported.
He teleported.
That last resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've been having a hard time keeping track of any of this, but that last part sounded important.
So, yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't skip over this blood thing.
Jobriath, could you remember exactly where this attack took place? Could you lead us to where this, or circle it on a map? Because we might be able to glean more details from their surroundings. It's been a bit, but
I may be able to. It may take me some time. I'd have to look at a map.
There's this old trick that I have from back in my days of being a man of the woods, and that is you take some bait and you put it where you think the predator is going to be. It brings them out. I was thinking maybe we could take Jobriath's blood and pool it in that area, and maybe they'll come for it.
Honestly, I thought you were just going to say we were going to put him there.
Yeah,
but...
I like that you added his blood. That was good thinking.
Yeah.
I think maybe a great idea. Perhaps give him a little bit longer to recover. He lost a lot of blood. Was unconscious. Like, he got all his blood back now, but maybe like after dinner, we steal some of his blood.
No one has tried to as far as we know, no one has attacked the temple or tried to like infiltrate to get him here.
No, you're not that you're aware of, or that.
Is there? We would know if there was any warding or anything on the temple, though, right?
Yes, and you actually have asked that question before. I know it's been a while. But yeah, there is a light level of warding. Some old runes that were left that protect it from just general evil and bad stuff.
Storm's gonna look to Quackers and say, the healing and your presence and everything, would that be able to conceal him, do you think?
I suppose that might be a possibility, although as we've already discussed, I'm already doing something to that level. And as he says that, speaking of, you all hear a... And from the stairs leading down, up comes a very sleepy-looking, hair all messed up, small gobbo.
Gobbo! I would like to pull out peach rings because I found out that was his favorite treat. He had no idea what they were, but he said they sounded good, and I give him peach rings.
Hello, ma'am, sirs, and Mr. Lord Quackers, sir, and I don't know you. And he looks at Jobriath, and as he does, he looks at you. Storm says, "Oh, thank you, ma'am," and he just munches on those gently. He's like,
"Don't eat too many.
These?
You don't know what sugar does to you yet."
You see him just like kind of put in his mouth and munch on it, and his pupils just dilate like crazy, and he just.
Out of character, I feel like Appa's gonna kill us all. Like I just feel like
fine with it.
I will
Like,
not let that
on
happen.
because of the sugar, or
Yeah.
just
No, just
eventually?
Fully fine with
honestly,
Okay.
partially because of the sugar, also partially because he's touched by Twilight, whatever the heck that means, and
No,
he could become an evil god if we don't treat him well.
This
fine.
one peach ring just raised his level to level 20, and
What, did you give him a rare candy?
No.
You gave him a rare candy?
He's still only level 1, y'all. Come on.
Is that in
Gotta
the
train
same
him up.
pouch as the mushrooms from the cave by any chance?
Uh-oh.
no,
Oh
different pouch.
God.
The peach rings were in the soup pouch.
Soup pouch.
Thank
from
goodness.
from soup, and the mushrooms that none of you know about are in my bag.
And for chat, just so y'all are aware, the background of Gobbo. Gobbo is touched by Twilight, which is a very base way of saying if he is brought up in the right manner and trained, he will literally ascend to godhood. So, there's your backstory there.
Yeah, we don't know what happens if he's not brought up in the right manner.
He becomes a god, but in
We
bad
have
way.
already almost
So
killed him.
the thing is
so-
that we need to take him on adventures so he can level up. He needs to catch up. He
Anyway.
needs to get that EXP share.
I'll take him to the bar.
He can't go to the bar. He's a child. Take him on
He's a
adventure
child.
where he almost
In
dies.
This world.
Fail.
Jobriath looks at Gobbo and says, I am Jobriath, child. He kind of looks to you all and says, none of you are goblins. Is there others that where are his parents?
Oh, you shouldn't ask that in front of kids, dude. You shouldn't ask that if you don't know where, buddy.
They're gone.
They're dead.
Is!
Yeah, they're dead.
Is!
Are y'all saying this in like not really being quiet? Like Gobbo's right
Yeah.
there.
No, Iz
there was-
says it matter of factly because like she's also an orphan. She's like, yeah, they're just gone. Like
If there was ever a time to use mind speak, that was it. Probably.
That is correct.
You do have that ability. No, I just fully called Jobriath an asshole for talking about his dead parents.
Gobbo comes up and kind of taps you on, your horse leg as high up as he can, and it's like, it's okay, ma'am, Storm. It's I need to get used to that question. But yes, Jobriath, sir, I am alone, except I now have my friends. and he kind of looks up at you all and kind of gives like a half smile. And he's like, so yes, but I have survived on my own for five. What did you say they were called?
Years.
Years. Yes, years. So yeah, I am fine. I am fine. But yeah, now, I am sorry. I'm still waking up. But why are you here? Asking Jobriath, and Jobriath kind of looks at him and says, "Well, I was saved by these individuals, and I suppose, I don't know if I owe you a debt of gratitude either. Was he there when he would?"
You owe Gabo everything.
No,
But no, he was not.
I mean, I don't know about everything.
No, it's absolutely true.
Gabo will become your god eventually.
Or are you saying that in front of Lord Quackers?
Yeah. I said that.
Oh,
no.
I said your god to
God.
Jobriath, not our god.
Oh.
But
You do hear a kind of, as you say, like in reference to Gabo, that he will become your god eventually. There is like an audible, like sort of strange sort of silence that suddenly pervades when you say he will become your god. Like that's totally cut out, and none of you hear it.
I'm sorry. What do you mean it's totally cut out?
It's like
So
as
it's-
if like suddenly Storm stopped talking, but her mouth kept moving. Right
Do we all
after she
see
said
that
he will become, right after she said he will become, it just suddenly was like she stopped talking.
Can I
Like
mind link with Quackers?
Storm, what was that? You just
You kind of like cut out.
I ignore them. I want to mind link with Quackers. Did you do that? Was that you?
yes. He like he nods to you, and without changing his face, he just kind of nods to you, and he like
Not
looks
myself
at Gabo.
in front of Gabo.
Looks at Gabo, is like, and like kind of gives you just a gentle like kind of a wait motion.
I understand. Cool. Because Gabo can mind link with us now, so I can't mind link to the rest of the party without him hearing. So I will.
Oh no,
Like
you definitely
everybody else
can.
does.
You can absolutely mind link to individuals.
Oh, you can't. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll make
maybe
not
Tyler
a
can't.
it's
but-
not a conference call.
I genuinely thought
I thought it was a conference call this whole time.
Cool. I'll mind link to everybody but Gabo and say, Quackers made me shut up. We're not supposed to say that Gabo's going to become a god in front of Gabo.
Yeah, I can see how
mean,
that
that
might
makes
be a
sense.
lot to take in if you're like 9.
Meh.
So
Way to be quick on the mute button, Lord Quackers.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That was anticipatory. He saw that one coming.
He did.
No, Gabo was not. Gabo, you actually led us to Gabo, in a sense.
well then, he looks down at Gabo and says, "I am glad that through my suffering that you were able to find your friends here, and I am certain that you are in great part helpful in the recovery of this stolen item. So many people are in your debt. And speaking of debts, I wish to repay all of you for rescuing me and bringing me to Lord Quackers here. Wow, that I am just amazed. I truly owe you much, but the best I can do is I can offer to give you each a rune specifically suited for what you would like. I can put a rune on a weapon if you'd like. Dolf, that definitely catches your attention. I can provide you with the knowledge of how to create a specific rune.
Just one rune?
Just one. It takes significant time to teach. I would say you'll get the rune much quicker if it's simply something you want inscribed on something versus the knowledge to make it. That will take significant time, but
What?
I mean, I'll go first. If you wish.
What?
Certainly, Dolf, I believe, right?
Yes.
It's wonderful. What did you have in mind?
There's a little project that's happening at the blacksmiths that I may have commissioned. So if you can inscribe something on there, that would be great.
Well, what kind of rune were you thinking?
Yeah, what are the options for runes?
What's the
I don't
menu?
I don't know.
Me googling
Like,
runes.
I mean,
in
you
D5e.
could inscribe.
Oh, these are
my
a homebrew
name.
thing.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
You could put my name on something. That would be cool. Maybe.
Joker, could you give us like a little rundown of what options?
Well, I can.
Perhaps some pamphlets. Go hand out.
Well, I can provide runes that increase damage on weapons. I can provide runes that provide additional things that your weapon can do. As example, providing, say, if you want to have your blade reach farther, I can increase the distance in which it can reach. Or I could even provide something. I could inscribe a rune on a simple piece of clothing or armor that would increase your physical or mental abilities if you wish. Provide you more insight into certain thoughts and certain abilities and skills. I can do much like that.
How does manipulate gravity sound?
What? Repeat that. I'm sorry.
Manipulating gravity.
He thinks. He says, "I believe. Yes. I know of a rune that could do that. How would you want this inscribed and what on?"
I would like this on my weapon that is being commissioned, and just messes with some people who get in the way.
He smiles and says, I assume you're talking about Joffrey, blacksmith, yes?
Yes.
Wonderful. Obviously, I've worked with him before, making the sword that was stolen, so this should be easy enough. I believe I will... does he already have knowledge of this weapon you want made?
Oh, yes. He's been working on it.
Excellent. Then I will certainly, as soon as I'm fully healed, I'll head over there and do my best to assist him. Now, I know I'll let you think over which runes you would want to have. This is me out of DM speak saying, I'm giving you time to think about it. You don't have to decide right now, and we can talk about that afterwards if you want more detail.
I couldn't say no to a gravity hammer. Like, come on.
I know. This is how I was bringing that in, because I know we've talked about that a little bit. So, now if you'll excuse me, I would like to lay down again. I'm still healing from everything that has gone on.
Would you like some tea, Jobrith?
That would be fantastic. I'm
gonna go make him a nice little lavender and rose chamomile blend.
Ooh, nice.
You like jam and bread to go with your tea?
I can get the bread.
Not the pants bread.
No, we got rid of the pants bread. This is his bag bread. He's learned his lesson.
Have we made sure that he hasn't stuck any more in his pants?
We're back at the temple. For all you know, I've restocked.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to trust Tyler.
I never trust Tyler.
You shouldn't, but...
But yes, to all of that. That sounds fantastic. I will be in the room where I was laid. I'm not sure whose room I took, but
It's mine, but I don't use a bed, so you're good.
Thank you. I will promise as soon as I'm healed, I'll be up and out of your space.
Yeah, take your time.
And so he hobbles down. Lord Quackers assists him kind of down into there. And he says mentally to all of you, including Gabi, says, I will have him rest and bring him all of the things when you are done. The tea, the bread, the jam. Feel free to drop that by. And I believe that is... I have nothing left for you today. I mean, go do as you wish. I have some thinking to do about everything that was said. Now,
Lord Quackers.
Yes, of course. Dolf.
I do have to say we've had a run-in with old chicken god over the specifically
What?
I did.
You hear that verbally. That was not mental. You just hear that yelled from the stairwell. And he says, you hear a deep breath, and he says, in your head again.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Wait.
Your time. Yep. So I look over to Lyra. I look over to everyone else. Is like, well, Quacker's investigations back up at it again. And
with that, we're gonna break.
Oh, okay.
Take our halfway break. That felt like a really appropriate time to take a break. So, All right, we're gonna be taking just a short 10-minute break, so everyone can grab food and whatnot, and we will be back in about 10-ish minutes. We have returned, and Misty Mountain Memes, we're so glad you could be here. I know you're a little late. That's all right. It's so good just to have you here. Everyone in chat, Misty Mountain Memes is our official meme channel. That none of us know who's running it. So
our secret meme channel.
The secrets are unwinding ever so slowly because we now know that they have children.
That narrows it down.
It narrows it down.
Quackers investigated kids. Quackers Investigative Industries is on the case.
Wait, how did they learn they had children? Did I miss
They
that?
put it in the chat.
yeah, I said, sorry friends, I had to put kids to bed before I could get on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm reading the chat.
No, okay. I before we jump back in game, I do have a question directly for Misty Mountain Memes.
Okay.
Ooh.
When the campaign wraps up, however far away that may be, will you reveal yourself?
Ooh.
Please.
That's good. Well,
But there's the delay. I forget that there's a delay.
Totally.
Totally.
Yeah.
Today's last session. TPK us right now.
Pinky promise.
Even if you get a TPK, you're gonna keep playing. That's why you have backup characters.
Pinky promise, Misty Mountain Memes.
Now, Luke, I'll give you the approval of the 9. If they tell us who they are now, could they join as an NPC for next session?
Ooh.
Get out.
Will they be
I don't know. I like
the
them. I like the mystery. I don't know. I'm tempted.
I also do like the mystery though.
I know. I would say they would. I would probably end up offering a spot at the table more than likely. I don't know. Maybe just an NPC. Maybe at the end of the thing. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
We'll see.
I'll have to think about it.
Happens.
I'll talk to Misty Mountain Memes. I've talked to them on their Instagram before. So
It's not a no.
It's not a no.
anyways.
Yeah, one day we're just gonna show up to the stream and there's gonna be this random person who just pops in midstream.
Who are you?
Coming. I can feel it coming.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
They have been
Cover
the
of the
chicken god all along.
That's right. It's been Lord Quackers this whole time.
Oh.
Because we totally haven't collabed before. What?
The plot thickens.
Luke, tell us your secrets.
I mean, we've done stuff on Instagram, yeah. I remember they asked us all questions.
Oh, that's right.
True.
Is that the collab they're talking about?
That's insight check.
Anna looks so hurt that you had the possibility of hiding something from her. She was just like, what?
Betrayal. I know where you sleep.
Dirty 20 for the record on that
Anyway,
insight check
let's-
against the DM.
That fails. Sorry.
Let's
Gotta
get back
sit.
into it. Let's get back into it.
Oh, back to
All
the
right,
game.
all right.
All right, come on. We gotta actually play D&D again. All
Love
right,
it.
so we return to you all chilling up in the main area of the temple. Lord Quackers has assisted Jobrith back to his room and is now returning. And he is looking very grim as he looks at all of you. And he says, all right, I want to know exactly what the chicken god has done. Dolf, tell me everything.
I'm gonna hand him a cup of tea.
He takes it and just holds it.
So, one of their followers ambushed me, and took me to the foot of the chicken god, and claimed you were under him. Claimed that you were supposed to be serving him.
As a note, when you say that, you see the tea that he's holding. It was steaming. It starts to boil again as he's holding it. He hasn't. His face hasn't changed, but the tea has started boiling in the little teacup.
I told him off that even if it was true at some point that you are the god that I serve, and I would not betray you and leave you. And I may have said some things that may have gotten him a little bit angry, and he may have done something to me that made me a little bit weaker. But I did not comply with what he was saying. And it sounds like, to me, it sounds like he's getting scared of you.
When you say that, the tea stops boiling and returns to just a nice steamy cup of tea.
Storm lets out a sigh of relief because you should not boil chamomile tea. Not.
And he just sighs a little bit and he says, he kind of smiles a little bit and he says, did he refer to himself as the Allfather?
Yeah.
And for the first time, you actually kind of see him like stifle a laugh. Normally it's very boisterous and loud, but he actually kind of stifles a little bit of a laugh. So, Dolf, I thank you. I am so terribly sorry that you had to undergo such an ordeal. I would consider yourself lucky, considering if you did in fact insult him, that he in fact even let you leave. But as I'm looking at you, I can see he did in fact take away some of your strength, your vitality, but I believe he has a sliver of honor still left in him from before he cast me down from the heavens, though I see it is interesting that he is down here amongst all of the people that he craves worship from.
Wait, are you saying it's bad to be among us?
Well, I just don't think he would ever intentionally step down from the heavens. So that is why I find this all very interesting. Now,
Lord Quackers, can I ask a question?
of course, so absolutely.
I might have misheard you. Did you say that he cast you down? So obviously you're our god. We don't give a shit about him. But was there some truth to the statement that he was kind of here and you worked on a subsect under him, and now you're your own thing?
That is
in Storm's mind, just over and over again. Please don't smite me. Please don't smite me. Please don't smite me.
He motions that it's fine and he's not hurt by the question, but he says, in a way, I say it very plainly. That is in fact what happened. He is responsible for me being cast down from the heavens. But it was not simply he was over me and decided I was not worthy to be in the heavens and just kicked me out. It was a bit more of I lost the war.
This sounds a bit like story time. I feel like maybe, can you just tell us what happened? That would be cool.
There was a war?
All right, yes, please. All right, have it.
Oh boy.
Let us sit down. And he kind of motions his hand, and suddenly there's very comfortable chairs, cushions for all of you to sit down, or in a very comfortable sort of mattress for you to lay on, Storm. Very plush. And even little Gobbo's got a small chair fit exactly for him. Same for you, Dolf. He says, Lord Crackers says, now, the heavens are of just unimaginable beauty and wonder, and it would be too much for your minds on this plane of existence to comprehend. Certainly, because you've served me, and if any of you were to ever perish, may I forbid it, you would ascend there. But the heavens also are not free from conflict. Myself and the chicken god were leaders of a war where various gods of different elements and beasts and things joined sides, and there was a long war where blood and lives were lost on both sides for millennia. I would say in human and, really in your terms of how time passes, it took anywhere between 30,000 to 50,000 years of this war continually being fought. Now, I, of course, led one side, the chicken god led the other. We fought against each other, and I had many brave soldiers on my side, and the final battle took place where there was a traitor, someone who betrayed me, someone I considered a close friend. I would say they betrayed me, and for that reason the war was lost, and I was granted life for being a noble opponent, according to the chicken god, or cure. But then, as punishment, I was cast down to never return. My connection to the heavens was severed, so normally, individuals, gods such as myself, can pass freely back and forth between the heavens and this realm. But my connection was severed. And so I no longer have that heavenly connection, and so you all I have.
Would that connection ever be restored?
It would have to be restored by the one who severed it. And guess who severed it?
What if he died?
I would not change anything. That would actually be worst case scenario. In fact, he would not be able to restore that connection, and so I would be forever lost from the heavens.
What was the cause of the war? You said there was conflict, but conflict over what?
Really, it was the precise way in which your realm was treated and viewed. The war was fought over whether or not we could do as we wish with any of you. And I was on the side that said that you all had dignity and deserved some level of respect for having your own individual personalities and lives, and certainly your own feats are just everything you 5 have done. You 6, including Gobbo, have everything you've accomplished is testament to all the respect and dignity that you deserve. But Cure, pardon the dog, believed that all of you were beneath us gods, and we could do as we wished with whomever and whatever we would like. And so the war was to prevent him from being able to do that, and that is the reason that he still has the ability to send individuals to kidnap my followers, and you, Dolf. He obviously will do as he wishes now that the war is lost.
Perhaps you'll know an answer to this. We asked Dolf earlier, but he didn't see one of the services, so couldn't tell us. The people that serve Cleric, is that what you said? Isn't it like the
Cure, or just the chicken god? Is okay. Either one is fine.
The people who serve the chicken god, do they know that they're serving somebody who believes the creatures of the material plane are beneath him in such a way? Are they willingly, is it a cult? Are they like, do they know what's happening and they're fine with it? Are they being blindsided? They think like he's this great caring god and he's really behind the scenes not? Are all of the worshippers like inherently not so great? Like if somebody says they worship the chicken god, we should be a little bit like, yeah. Or do they not know what they're really serving?
Hang on, I gotta ban someone.
Yeah.
Yay.
Second time I've ever had to do that.
We've made it, guys. We have bots.
Cool.
To answer that question, well, think of it this way. Do you believe that you are beneath me?
In a not bad sense. In a sense of you're much more powerful and a god, and I am not. You are above me in that sense, but I feel like what I got from what you were saying is like the chicken god, anybody, all of his followers, he tossed them aside for his gain, whereas you would not.
Well, therein lies your answer, really. Even though I believe we are of equal footing as far as respect and dignity and how we should each be treated, you still believe that as I am, in fact, a god, I have some level above you. Yeah. There are those who just simply see it as gods are those who are simply above them and should be worshipped. And that is
like in the same, I see you as above us in the same sense of like I saw my mentors as above me.
Yes,
but now that I'm at their level, we're equal footing.
It's
now,
a mutual respect.
Exactly. That is how I want this sort of relationship to be. Now, those who serve the chicken god will not necessarily see it as that way, as I'm sure he's very impersonal towards all of his followers, save for his select few. I'm certain that those who attend services and come and provide worship and finances would simply see him as above them. I mean, before you knew me and you knew of gods, did you not think that they were just simply above all? And
I was an atheist. I didn't believe in any of you.
that's understandable.
Me too.
You were all fake until I met a chicken that could speak.
He does chuckle at that, and I understand that is. There's either those who simply believe we do not exist. There are those who see us as things to be conquered, and then there are those who simply think we should be worshipped. And you five, six are simply just more. I've treated you as equal, and so I hope that has been the reason for why you all see me as more of a mentor and not something that just deserves worship because I am a god.
No, if you start acting like a dick, I'm gonna fight you. I'll lose, but
that is how I wished all individuals of this plane would act. But I'm certain if obviously no one has really bothered with the chicken god to try and convince him to change his ways, except for Dolf, who paid the price for it.
We all go spit in his face like Dolf did.
I would definitely not suggest that. That would be a terrible, terrible idea.
Is there a way to expose him to those who follow him? Because I mean, I'm sure there's probably his inner circle that know him more or less, and they're fine with the way he treats others as long as they're also in power. But I'm sure the day-to-day, the baker from down the street who goes in there once in a while, he might not know what it is he's serving.
Well, I will be perfectly frank with you. I'm certain that if you were to try and convince anyone, it would more come across as you simply trying to discredit a god because you have your own god that you worship versus you trying to reveal his evil nature.
And honestly, this was the first offense. I don't think at the state that we are at now and the amount of power and accumulation that the chicken god has within this city, there's not much that we can do at the moment. I think it's more of we're just in a wait and see kind of moment right now. I know I was a little bit more aggressive towards him just because he took me away and
kidnapped you,
tried to be aggressive with me.
So,
but I think that
perhaps while we're waiting, we can learn ways to expose him in a way that doesn't appear to us trying to, like,
I just think that we can,
like, you know how people can draw pictures? Perhaps a moving picture.
Ooh, I could do that.
We should find an artificer who can take an eyeball and hook it up to a machine, and then that machine can watch him, and it saves what it sees.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
We can find an artificer. I'm sure they can.
That was the strangest idea I think I've ever heard come out of Storm's mouth.
Yeah.
Storm, without you guys seeing, had fully dunked a couple mushrooms in her tea.
I
Therefore came up with the plot of a video camera.
I just think that we continue what we are doing right now, as the chicken god now knows that we're on to him. And I think if we continue what we're doing, we don't show that we're scared of him. He's going to do something that's going to expose himself. He's going to slip up.
Yeah, I like this plan.
I think as someone who has served a god once before, gods are, no offense, Lord Quackers, they're very fickle.
I 100% agree with that statement.
So the fact that we as mortals have a certain view of gods, and the fact that they kidnapped me, they threatened me, they showed emotion because of things that I've said to them. I think continuing what we're doing as of now will make them slip up again.
More pamphlets.
More pamphlets. More spreading Lord Quacker's good name.
I think that we're about to take on some enemies that we don't even know what they are, potentially. And I'm kind of terrified of the idea of the chicken god coming at us at the same time. Like, can we level up first?
Yeah, there's nothing we could do about one of the things, but we can do things about other things.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of those other things, shall we go to the library and the taverns respectively?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see what we can find out.
Now, before you all go, I do want to make something very clear. Do not engage in combat or any sort of thing like that with the chicken god. If for somehow he appears in front of you, simply stay very still and do your best to not insult him. I don't believe he would kill you outright.
Could I give him corn? Would he like corn?
Yes, he would absolutely love corn, but I don't believe that would sway him
I'll
to...
carry a thing of corn to throw in the other direction if he comes near us.
Are you okay, Storm? Like, how are you feeling?
Storm, go ahead and give me a con check real quick.
Can I make like a
She's
medicine
not okay.
or an insight check?
Con? Oh, God.
I still got my inspiration from last time.
That's a...
Unless that disappears.
You said con save?
Yeah, con save.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, cool. You're fine. Also, take a point of inspiration, Storm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
What'd you get for tripping on shrooms and coming up with some wild idea?
That's right.
As this moment kind of wraps up, you look over and you notice that in the magically comfy chairs that Lord Cracker's provided in the middle of story time, at some point Tyler drifted off to sleep and has been... when he's comfy and someone's telling him a story, and it just took him back to a certain era of his childhood, and he's fallen asleep during story time.
Yeah. And Tyler, you don't feel this, but Gabo's like noticed this, and he's like tapping you, like not hard enough to actually wake you up. He's just, sir. And he's like looking like panicked between you and Lord Cracker's like, sir. Tyler, sir, um,
Do we notice Gabo doing this?
yeah, you absolutely do.
I stand in front of Tyler and Gabo. I'm like, men of the woods.
Wakes up. Woods.
To the bars we go.
To the bars we go.
To the bars we go, sirs.
Stumbles out of his chair.
Storm is going to
I
put
pick
her
up
arm in front of them.
I pick up Gabo and start running.
Storm's going to
Oh,
put her
no.
arm in front of them.
I use tiny the
I don't
whole-
even think that
I can move
Gabo
through-
on top of his head would make like I feel like your arm would be
That's
too
right.
tall.
I
Like I think they just go right
I
under.
can move. I can move through.
I'm gonna
and
call after them. Don't let Gabo drink any alcohol.
I know that.
Okay. Don't let Tyler let him drink.
We know that? Question mark.
Dolph knows that. Oh my
Is there an
gosh.
artificer in town?
Oh god.
I would say you've spent enough time to know that there's not.
Damn. All right.
Um,
It's in the book. Write it down.
Cool. So, Lord Quackers sees all of this and he chuckles. So the boys head off to the bar. The men of the wood head off to the bar. And what are the rest of you doing?
To the library.
Library.
The library! Perfect. Channel your inner Sokka. Wonderful. So he smiles to himself. This is more flavor just for our viewers. None of you notice this, but as you all leave and walk at the door, and the door of the temple closes behind you, he smiles, and he glows with this bright, vibrant white light. And the humanoid form of Lord Quackers shifts and fades until simply sitting in a very comfy chair is a small duck wearing a little crown, looking worried.
Oh, what a little guy.
Hey, he's just a little guy.
That's a little guy.
And it's his birthday.
Yes. So we can just go ahead and do a quick little blurb at the bars and
Tosh.
Yeah.
montage of everything you do. You go to the bars, you listen to stories. Tyler absolutely lets Gabo sip on his alcohol without Dolph noticing.
I don't know. I have.
Well, here we'll do some
it's
quick
not-
rolling.
It's not a. I thought I had a higher passive perception. It's
What-
okay.
What is your passive?
It's 14.
All
I have
right.
a passive insight of
Sleight of
17.
hand?
Yeah, roll sleight of hand.
That is a
I will-
16.
I will roll perception.
He's keeping an
I will
eye
do
out.
A 2.
That's not gonna do it.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
Gabo absolutely gets just a sip and is definitely tipsy when he arrives back to the temple.
But I could tell when Tyler's lying.
Does Tyler get tipsy?
How much do you drink?
I don't know.
roll a d6.
Sure. I'll roll a d6 for how many drinks I have.
D6 feels so
4?
low.
4. What's your con bonus?
My con bonus is +2.
All right, so you're definitely drunk.
All right.
Yeah, you're definitely drunk.
Great.
Dolph
Yeah, to-
and very tipsy Gabo are having to support you, who is definitely like taller than both of them combined.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
very much.
So, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fun image.
We're definitely listening for any rumors, any stories of like flying beasts, people going missing at certain parts of the wood, like going towards the mountain, or just any rumors like that involving either the mountain or these trying to get to the mountain or like these weird flying metal beasts.
Give me a separate perception check for that.
Okay.
Can I also?
Yes, with
Can I use
disadvantage.
Can I
All
use
right,
my
well.
inspiration?
Sure.
I haven't
Yeah.
used- What does using my inspiration do?
You get to re-roll the roll and keep whatever.
Okay.
You can choose either one.
All right. so
You get
let's-
advantage.
I got a 9.
I'm not gonna use my I'm not gonna use my inspiration because I rolled a 19, so that's a 23 perception.
Cool. Tyler, you're just too sloshed. You don't hear anything. But Dolph, you
Tipsy.
okay, tipsy. Dolph, you hear just some travelers mentioning how the mountains, the Brunish Mountains, have become excessively dangerous lately. Just people have been going missing up there. Traveling through the mountains is advised against, in fact, even though that's one of the quicker ways to get to the Unified Road, which is, as you all your characters would know, is the longest and most well-traveled road in the entirety of Mortalwan, the country where you're in. So people have been taking the longer route around the mountains to avoid going through because of how dangerous it's been to pass through lately. That's about all you get before just people are just talking about other stuff, and you don't really hear anything else of note before y'all decide to head home. So now we'll cut over to the library. The three of you are headed to the library of Havar, is what it's called. And it is a large and impressive building, not quite as big as the museum, mind you, but still made of the very similar sort of well-carved stone that the museum is made out of. And it's still very ornate and beautiful, but just a bit smaller. Inside is just floor-to-ceiling books. There's 2 different floors, and it is a paradise for books and tomes and novels and history books and everything. So what are you 3 looking for exactly?
I know Storm's looking for, I guess, different accounts, maybe like a compiled list of like winged monsters, creatures that can fly, that kind of stuff, trying to figure out what attacked Jobria.
All right, so
she's gonna like see if she can find any like Artificer for Dummies 101 books.
all right. Since this library is well maintained and well organized, you don't even have to make investigation checks for these books you're looking for. So you're able to find some books, just sort of naturalist books for people who've gone out and looked for various creatures of various signs. You in fact find a book titled Lothlniel's Treatise of Dangerous and Not So Dangerous Creatures. You find that book. That stands out to you pretty well. And it stands out to you. It's just because, one, it looks to be a very well-documented book. And as you flip through it, you also find a section of the book titled Twilight Elk. And so you have that. It's Lothlniel's Treatise of Dangerous and Not So Dangerous Creatures. That's a book you can check out. Yeah. So that's Lothniel for Lothlniel.
I know that name.
So Lyra, what books are you looking for?
Lyra is crying.
Oh no! What?
What happened?
Being in the sheer presence of this many books is a little overwhelming for her. So Lyra is currently crying.
Can Storm try to find a handsome librarian boy to help Lyra out?
She's like trying to like play it off like she's just dust. This stuff is so dusty. There's like something in my eye I can't see. like sobbing. When she pulls herself together, she's going to look for a beast, like pretty much what Storm was looking for, like a bestiary or like some like collection of animals that would be found, or beasts that would be found.
Were those happy tears?
Yes.
I mean, okay. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that case,
Well,
yeah,
maybe you had a
Lyra, you find the same book at the same time Storm does. You both find it and are both intrigued by it in the same way. You don't find too many other books really dedicated to the subject, but you find some stuff just on some very basic creatures and just information in like biology books, though that's not what it's called, obviously.
Are there like tables in this library that we could bring the books over to flip through to try and maybe compile a list of it could be this maybe for the creature that attacked Jobria?
Yeah, absolutely. What books are you? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll come back to that. What books are you looking for?
Is gonna look for like mythology or like or history of the area.
All right. Yeah, you definitely find a few books. A lot of mythology, specifically, that you think might hold some merit. And you find all these books and you bring them to this table, and you all spend the rest of the day basically. Yes.
On her way back to the table, is going to get lost in the high fantasy romance section.
Noted. Lyra, you said you were looking for a librarian?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's you see a couple restocking some shelves. There's one who is just a human man. He seems to be pretty old. He's got not quite gray, but he's got some silver in his beard and hair. But aside from that, it's some dark black hair.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out why that's relevant.
Just to give you visual, to make like.
Do you have any other librarian options? Younger, handsomer ones by any chance?
Here, hang on. Let me roll for it.
Possible options.
Oh no!
Make a handsome roll.
All right, you find another one. That is
shoulder length brown hair.
Yeah, you find an elfin man who is
wears a red bandana.
Yeah, that fits that description perfectly. He's organizing the bookshelves, making sure everything's in order where it needs to be.
Drops a book towards Lyra.
Okay, so Lyra sees this option of a librarian, and stops and goes, and turns around and goes to the old guy.
Does Storm notice this? Does Storm notice this?
No, not at this point.
Not the same book, so we would have been next to each other.
Yeah, we would have been.
Well, yeah, but would you have gone looking for a librarian with her, or would you have gone to the table?
I would have followed her around because I'm still trying to find like a artificing book. So if I didn't find one on my own, finding a librarian would have made sense.
Yes, you did not find one on your own, so yes, you do see this then.
I'm gonna mind link to Lyra and go, hold on. What was that?
What's what?
You did a little huh? And then turned around after you saw the, I guess you would find this attractive, man over there.
He just looks like he's younger, and so probably doesn't know as much. So I'm gonna go to the old guy.
Yeah, don't lie to me. Do you think this boy's cute?
I didn't notice if I didn't register gender there. I'm just gonna go to the other person.
Storm's gonna block her path to the older librarian, giving her the only option to go talk to the cute boy.
Lyra's gonna like do like this whole like looking up at Storm, turning, and then she's gonna like dive to go between your legs.
Sit down.
Okay. All right. So I need both of you to make competing dex checks.
I also feel like the librarian needs to make some kind of like perception.
Oh no,
check.
he's absolutely doing that.
15 for my
Is
dex.
is just lost in a book in a corner?
I got a 9, so that was not successful.
All right. So you try to dive under her legs, and Storm just literally sits and like is kind of now on top of you. And this librarian just hears you go and looks over. And sees just a pair of legs sticking out from underneath a centaur. It says,
Does he at least see my butt?
Wow.
Storm will scooch back to make sure that he's.
Oh no!
Okay, then yes. He does.
Fully not putting her whole weight on Lyra. She's done this to people before.
Oh
She's
yeah.
not sure.
Yeah, no, that makes
you would
sense.
kill me.
So yeah, he sees all that, and he's more confused than anything. He's just kind of seeing this as, do you both need help?
I got startled. My friend was playing a prank and tried to run past me, and my natural reaction when I'm startled is to just kind of sit and freeze. I stand up and I say, but my friend here, she did need help finding a book. I'm the weird one. Very sweet. And then Storm's gonna back up, trying to make herself seem like the weirdest creature ever. That way Lyra doesn't seem sus.
Oh, Lyra
You're
definitely seems
definitely
sus.
succeeding a little bit. He says, okay. Well, what was your name? What did you need help with?
Okay.
I didn't sit on you that hard.
I just got set on by a centaur. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah, and he kind of goes back and he like takes some of the last few books he has to organize and puts them up and grabs the cart and kind of wheels it back over after giving you a moment. It's like, oh, okay, so did you need help finding a book?
Not okay. She like stands up and kind of like is trying to like, she's going into like, okay, researcher mode. So I have a strange question. I'm looking for stories about a particular beast, but I don't know what the beast is called. I just know what it looks like because someone described it to me in a story, and I'm looking for more stories about this. Okay, so it's in the air and it flies and it has wing-shaped things that don't flap. Do you know of anything that would? And also, it's like giant eagle size and can be heavily armored. Like it can wear heavy armor.
I can't say. What books have you found?
On this particular thing, none. It was just a story that was told to me by somebody
Well,
who had seen this before.
Okay, well, I'm
Like,
saying,
they had-
have you found any books here that might contain that information? Because at this point, you haven't actually looked through the books to see if there's anything in them.
We looked through the Lothniel's book, right?
You
just flipped through it.
Okay, I'll tell him about that one. And like that
Wait,
was the
hang
only
on.
one.
Sorry, what book? What was the name of the book?
Lothniel's tree, something about dangerous and not so dangerous beasts.
We don't-
animals, creatures.
We don't have that book. That's not a book we have in this library.
Well, it was on your shelf, so I don't know what to tell you about that.
Do you have this book with you?
Storm has it.
Yeah, I've definitely got it.
We
Because
can go
that's
find her together.
very. That's weird. If we have a very extensive process to allow books in here to make sure that they're providing correct information.
Was it handwritten or was it printed?
The book's handwritten.
Okay, I'll
But
tell
all
him
books
that.
here are handwritten,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no printing press.
There's no
I mean, there's magical printing, but yeah. I mean, there would be a printing press at this time.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. This is like very, like, right before, this is a good ways before, like, in, like, to imagine the era that you're in, before the first Industrial Revolution. So it's like things are starting slowly to get more advanced technologically, but still like very basic. Like there's no guns or anything. So
Okay. Okay. So I'll take him to Storm and we'll show him the book.
okay. I mean, we don't carry this book, so this you can keep it. I mean,
Okay, cool.
it's very strange that we have this book here. Like, can I look through that?
Is he saying that to Storm?
Yes.
How tall is this guy?
He's about 6 foot.
5'11"?
5'11". Yeah, he's 5'11".
Taller than him. Before she hands it to him, she wants to do an Arcana check and page through it really quick to see if she sees like any kind of like how this bypassed their system before she gives it to a librarian that she doesn't know and doesn't necessarily trust.
All right, go ahead and roll an Arcana then.
18.
18. You definitely feel something magical about this book.
Before I give this book to you, I don't know if I trust you.
That is a bit of a strange thing to say to a librarian when you're holding a book. I'm gonna be real honest.
Okay, the book is not supposed to be here. So if I give you the book, do you pinky promise I get the book back? I need to read it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't keep it. I mean, I'm just the librarian. Normally, we'd have a process to have books instated so that we would have them here so people could check them out. So this is really weird that this
But
book
yes,
is
you
here.
will hand it back to me.
Yeah, no, I just want to look it over. Like, I don't,
Okay.
I have no
I'll
intention
hand it to him.
He kind of looks it over. He flips through it. He looks at like where the author name is. He's like, Othniel? I don't even know who that is. Okay, well, yeah, here it's yours. I mean, if it was one of ours, you'd have to check it out. But what?
Do you think that he just came in here and put his book in the library because he thought it belonged here?
I guess, but what kind of individual would even do that? That's so weird.
I don't know. I definitely don't know anyone who would do that.
Storm's gonna look at Lyra like, what have you? What? Also very confused by that comment.
And so this guy, he looks around at the table and he's like, well, I mean, these will be all the books that I suggest. I mean, I can't think of any more books that might have information on what you're looking for.
Yeah, and you've never heard of...
Can't say I have. I spend the majority of my time here, if I'm honest. I don't go outside the city that often. I mean, my job's here. I live in Nostrahopper, so I do my job here. I don't really leave the city.
Have you heard anybody talking about recent attacks?
I mean, aside from the bears a few days ago, that rune crafter outside of the blacksmith shop, I remember hearing tale of that. I wasn't there for any of these, but I've heard just talk.
What did you hear about that?
Just that, the someone dressed in runecrafter's robes came in as a flying eagle and crash landed and then was unconscious and looked real beat up. But that's all I heard. I mean, I heard everything secondhand. I also heard that he was apparently fighting off some bandits or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe that part. But I mean, also I heard that when the bears were there, I heard there was some group of people that fought the bears and were fighting them off really well or something I don't know.
I'm gonna speak up when he says that. this was us, right? He's referring to us.
Yeah. He doesn't know it's you guys, but yeah.
Storm is fully going to go. Lyra here, kick that bear's ass.
I'm sorry. What?
Lyra. But it was our group, our party that fought the bears.
Yeah, it was our party. I don't know.
Lyra was rather impressive during this fight, and quite frankly, Storm's gonna put
no
around Lyra as best she can, and be like, Lyra, honestly, is probably the most impressive person in our party, and I don't think Storm's going to look very sincerely at Lyra. I don't think we would have fought those bears as effectively without you.
Lyra's looking at you like you're like just like
Storm winks
spouting
at
utter nonsense
and head nods towards Lyra.
She's like,
I'm gonna need Storm to make a persuasion check real quick to convince him.
Okay, 18 on the dice, persuasion.
I feel like we need to
19.
explain for anyone who has missed previous episodes, Lyra has never been kissed, and now it's everybody's mission to make sure that Lyra gets kissed.
But
So-
Even though Lyra has not said this
reason to be
aloud
a
to anybody.
wingman.
She also
got a
keeps a
19.
track of how many days she has lived without being kissed. She's a little tally in her notebook.
So he looks at you and he's like actually looking very impressed. He says, "Really? That was you guys? That's amazing. I mean, I heard it was some insane thing and there was like 10 bears that escaped or something like that, and you fought off 10 bears?"
No. It was not 10. It was like 3.
But they were large bears. We
Tyler
also
would have
fought
handled
Elders
this
the
so
other day.
differently.
I know.
It's driving me crazy.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, impressive. I mean, I'd certainly like to hear more. I mean, are you all adventurers or what do you?
Oh! I pull out a pamphlet and give him a pamphlet for
In addition to being
Lord Quackers.
Lord Quackers, what's the word I'm thinking of?
And we're like
Disciples.
patrons, or he's our
Disciples,
patron.
thank
So
you. In
Disciples.
addition to being Lord Quacker's disciples, we are indeed an adventuring party.
also investigators if you need detectives.
You all do a lot. Thank you. I'll hold on to this. And he like tucks it into his like vest pocket. Says, I mean, I'm sorry I couldn't help you more. It sounds like you've got a lot you need to do, but yeah, this is amazing. Thank you. I'll definitely check out this place. And you said your name was Lyra?
Yeah.
And Storm?
Yeah, I actually do have a question that you probably help me with. Artificing for dummies.
I am afraid we don't have much on artificing.
What is with this town and no artificing?
We just don't really have many of those here, and it's not a most commonly practiced not a thing, really. We don't get many of those.
Shame. Then Storm's just gonna walk towards the table with the books.
Well,
Do you have any bookstores that you would recommend?
bookstores, books. Well, I mean, yeah, I definitely have a few. There's one that's actually near where I live. I just have a small,
Oh no.
a small.
Claire says that out loud. That was in character.
I wingmaned too hard.
Oh no.
Nothing. Sorry. I was gonna sneeze and then I didn't, and then it's stuck. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens to me all the time. Don't worry. Yeah. It's just called the Reading Lounge. It's very simple. It's not anything crazy. It's not very big, but it's quaint. It's cute. It's got a good amount of books you can purchase.
And what part of town is this?
This is kind of near. It's so you know where the main section is, where the museum and all that is, right? Where you fought the bears.
Sorry, we're like derailing.
No, this is
what
perfect.
we want. This is what we want. I said we will derail this whole campaign for Lyra to get a date.
Okay, so he describes where it was near the museum.
It's like, so you know, if you just go to the museum and take a hard.
She pulls out her notebook and like starts taking notes. And then she realizes that she's taking notes like right next to her tally of never been kissed. Like frantically flips the page.
All right, he doesn't notice. He says, if you take a hard right out of the town heading west, you go through Timberwood. It's right in there.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I should probably get back to work, but just let me know if you need anything. My name's Luca, by the way.
Luca.
As he goes to leave, is gonna walk up with like giant piles of books. Is just like, hey, I found this story about a half orc and a traveling merchant, and she looks like back and forth at the librarian. And she like raises her eyebrows at Lyra.
Hi, what'd you find? Is it good? Is it? I don't know what it is.
Nothing.
Storm,
Nothing.
Not super far away, hearing Lyra falter, is going to go, Lyra, I need your help with this book.
Okay, thanks. Like, runs away.
Oh.
Is it just like nothing? And she's gonna like drop the books and like write a quick note and slip it to Luca without the other two noticing.
Okay.
Thank you. He opens it, and what does it say?
It's like it's in illusory script, so only he can read it, and
Okay.
it says, "You should ask her out."
He kind of looks at you, and he kind of goes a little red for a second. And says, "I should get back to work." And he like kind of like quickly trots off down, a little red in the face. But he continues to do his work. And so you all sit down with all of those books, and you go through them, you read them, and you don't really find anything. And really, the only thing of note is the Lothniel's treatise, though you definitely got some magical vibes to it.
Yeah, I'm going to hand it to... Lyra's more magical out of the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to hand it to Lyra and say, I mean, I picked up some heavy arcana on this, but do you have perhaps detect magic or... anything that could tell us what this thing is about?
Hold on, going through my spells. Most of my spells are about hurting people. I don't really.
If not, I mean, Luca said that we could just take it because it's not part of the library system, so we can take it back to the temple and.
Yeah, could I do like a history check? No, because we're looking specifically for the magic part of it. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, we can just study it over the next couple days. We can ask the boys and
maybe Lord
Quackers.
Quick question: who is reading it? Who opened it and read it?
I think we're all looking at it.
I think we're all looking at it. Storm definitely, when she walked away from Luca and Lyra to try to leave Lyra on her own, started to actively read it. Went through the table of contents, found something that was like flying beast and flipped to that chapter and started to read that chapter.
All right.
I do have detect magic.
So
yeah,
if you're all gonna read it, I want all of you to make intelligence checks.
Oh boy.
Just straight intelligence?
Just straight intelligence.
Okay.
16, all right.
14.
14.
21.
21. And Lyra, mark down one success. Wherever you can, just mark down one success.
Okay.
Did I mark down a failure?
No, you don't need to mark down a failure. You just don't have a success. So you did fail, but you don't have to mark it down. Keep that somewhere. If you continue to read it, we'll come back to that. So you don't really find anything useful information-wise as far as what you're looking for. Nothing seems to match the description that Jobriath gave you. And eventually, just after researching and studying all day, you realize it's getting dark outside. The library is starting to close, and you have to head on. And so between the three of you leaving the library and then the three boys heading back from the bars and whatnot, you all come back to the temple and exchange all this information.
We're just dragging Tyler.
Exactly. Tyler's just singing.
Men of the woods, men of the woods. We are the men of the woods.
Yes, Tyler.
How was the library?
You all swap information, what you found out, what you discovered. And eventually, not having anything, you decide to just continue the search tomorrow. And you all head off to bed. Lord Quackers is sleeping peacefully in duck form, just on the chair where you left him, seemingly doing some thinking. But he is just fast asleep when you come back. And after you all head to bed, it's peaceful. And we are now at the point in the campaign where that was the beginning. Your story has started. You're beginning to see new places. You've gained new allies, new friends, new places, and you're recognized throughout the city. You've got some notoriety, some fame. You've gained some level of influence in Nosterhaver, and having learned new information, gained new questions with new allies and new enemies discovered. And you all have continued to spread the Lord Quackers and bring in new followers each day. You have some time of peace in researching and learning and discovering things. Growing the church, of course, of Lord Quackers, and growing as friends. But sadly, and unbeknownst to all of you, that piece of this time would not last. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Okay.
Suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh, boy.
I love that.
I mean, we ended on a good note. Lyra got a potential date, so...
Yeah, does he ever show up?
We'll see, won't we?
Okay. So, but you said time had passed.
Sometime. It's like this is kind of just general future, not a specific time, but don't worry, we will certainly be touching on all that next session.
When we pick up next week, before we have a time pass,
I know you had something you wanted to do.
Iz would like to sneak out in the middle of the night.
Perfect. So we'll end on that cliffhanger, and we'll pick up first thing next session with Iz doing something. Very sneaky.
Suspicious.
Oh, man. Oh, no. What? No, I was invested in this. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad. Everyone. Thank you. Chat, thank you for hanging out and being really I hope you've all enjoyed their time here. I know certainly I have. This has been an excellent session. But yeah, thank you to my players. You all did such a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Gonna run through all the thank you. Thank you to Kenya Powers for the Lord Quackers art. I believe there was numbers at the end of that. If you can throw that right up in the chat again.
Yeah, I'll put that on there.
Perfect. Thank you to Arcane Anthems for the use of the songs that you hear in between our starting soon and the We Will Be Right Quack screen. The wonderful music he provides free And you can support him on Patreon if you want. He's fantastic. Thank you to Luke, our very own Luke Ehrenholz. Never know if I pronounce it right. It's such a struggle. For the wonderful gifs that you see of all the characters walking and whatnot. It's fantastic. And thank you to AJ for the frames that you see here in the background and all of that. You did all of that. So thank you. And yeah, thank you, all of my players. You guys are so fun. I really love watching y'all do what you do best. Now, I know, AJ, you have announcements. Does anyone else have any other announcements before he begins his spiel?
I do. I do.
Want to fight about it, Luke? Huh?
Yeah, let's fight. No, I started twitching. I started twitching a bit. I made a Twitch account. I'm doing a bit of streaming a bit. AJ and Luke have come and hung out in my streams too, and it's a good time. So I'm pretty new to it. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. But if you guys want to follow my Twitch account, I've been commenting in the comments and stuff. So that would be really nice if you guys wanted to do that. But yeah, that's my big announcement for the summer.
Nice.
That's it. That's all I got.
Any other announcements?
AJ.
All right.
Okay. All right. Hi, I'm AJ, also known as Sushi Kid. You can find me on the 3 T's of social media, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok as Husha_Kid. This is going to be weird because I don't have to announce this anymore because we just did our season finale for Kingsguard on this past Monday. So now I feel kind of lost in it, but we are trying to get into the Game Hers Awards. We're trying to get our campaign into that. So hopefully on my Twitter, I can, once I figure out what specifically you would need to do, you check that out and maybe give a nomination to the campaign. Maybe do a nomination for Misty Mountain Legends. Who knows? I don't know. But this Saturday, you can find me on Critical Misses for their morning show at 11 a.m. EST called Morning Ritual. It's a TTRPG talk show. Even though we talk about TTRPGs, but sometimes we just go into random topics of whatever happens. But I'm gonna be a guest on there. I've been following that channel for so long, and we've talked about being on there for so long, and I'm finally gonna be a guest there. So, other than that, on Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. EST time willing, it is time for the best esports team you have ever seen. It's the Dub Club. Along with my teammates Milan and D, we go through all the games, all wins every day, no losses. Do not check the VODs. Like I said, we win. There was one time that me and the Dub Club went into a game. They versed us for one round. They surrendered. They were scared. They're scared. You can hire me as a video editor, transcriber. I'm looking to become tech for some people's streams and, trying to become an amateur voice actor. So if you have some stuff for me, I can do some stuff. And that's all the things that, let me freaking call out my partner real quick. You see this? My partner made this. You can go to her Twitter at crochet_BBY and DM them, ask for a commission. They will give you a link and they'll put you in queue. But they make little crochet things like this little bumblebee,
Say what it's called. Say what it's called.
bumblebee. They also made this cloak for my king character.
Whoa.
Hey, how long did that take them to make? Because
I
coming up.
I do not know, because they kept this a secret from me because I did not know it was coming.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
So yeah, hit them up, and they'll be able to discuss commission prices with them. But yeah,
Wonderful.
All right, that's all the announcements.
that's all I got.
All right, your whole spiel. I love it. It's so fun.
It's a good spiel.
Oh, all right. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. I think this is the most people we've ever had tune in for a session. So if I'm not wrong, I could be wrong about that.
First one, we had a lot. We had a lot in our first.
Yeah,
That's true. We
the
did have a lot in our
one-shot.
first one, but thank you. Still, I love seeing everyone come in and watch and comment and just get involved in the story. It warms my heart. So again, thank you so much, chat, for tuning in. And again, thank you to Misty Mountain Memes for providing wonderful memes about this campaign.
I'm so excited to see what comes out of this.
I know. I'm so ready.
Drunk Tyler and Storm sitting on Lyra.
It's gonna be great. With that,
Next
thank you.
stream.
Oh yes, next stream
September 1st.
September 1st. That is the one. So, pardon, my belly just growled.
Ouch.
Are you hungry, Luke?
A little. So I'm gonna sign off and go get some food. So, thanks, y'all. We hope you all have a wonderful night, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.